lit, man.
Yeah, we ain't playing.
The cells look like they're all the same.
In Ohio's Butler County Jail, Sheriff Richard Jones is eager to fill these cells.
Got a bed over here, little cabinet, sink.
Happy to provide a resource now that the Department of Homeland Security says its immigration detention centers are at capacity after ICE arrested 32,809 individuals since President Trump's inauguration.
Well, they have no
We can't do mass deportations without sheriffs like you.
They need, and we are willing to help. I shook hands with President Trump.
Right after Trump won the election in November, Jones contacted ICE and renegotiated a contract his jail had with the agency during the first Trump administration. Butler County now charges ICE for holding detainees, renting out its beds for a price per head, potentially bringing the county millions of dollars a year.
300 beds.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the people
What are you charging?
As much as I can get. We're charging $68 a day, and that pays for my employees, pays for what they need.
Tack on another $36 per hour for transportation.
Is it about the money?
No, it's about doing the right thing. If you look at what these people, the crimes that they have committed since they've been here, what's it worth for somebody that's been murdered or somebody that's been raped?
Saidu So says he accidentally missed a court appointment that led to a deportation order in 2006. For years, his family sought to keep him in the U.S., but in 2016, he was convicted of a crime following a car collision. In 2018, ICE brought him to Sheriff Jones's jail in Butler County. He now lives in the Ivory Coast, separated from his daughter, a U.S. citizen.
Butler County, I'm still going through some trauma from Butler County.
He alleges staff at the jail beat another detainee until blood surrounded his cell.
What are you worried could happen to other people like you there?
Somebody's going to put hands on them. They will be beat up.
In a lawsuit filed in 2020 and still pending, other detainees shared experiences similar to So's. The sheriff's office denies all allegations, saying our staff are trained professionals and would not beat anyone. Jones has been reelected in this community 6 times, and for most of those years has had this sign right in front of his jail.
That's the legal designation. Illegal aliens. That's where they're at. So now.
Right, but it's not an amusement park. Is it dehumanizing to have this here for people to just gawk and stare?
I don't see anybody gawking.
Back in the migrant detention business, he's confident his Ohio community is with him. Antonia Hilton, NBC News.
I don't know. That's just damn, that's just crazy. 32,000 in just that area? Is that what they said?
I want to say 1,000 since his since Trump came back into office, but this is his second go around doing this.
He might have said like 32,000
that they deported.
I don't think it's just the one area though, but still, that's just alarming. I'm glad I live in the West Coast.
So, top of the morning song, top of the morning cooking Kamush. What's going on, Crook?
The building.
So it said that this dude is renting out beds to the ICE people for $68 per bed for them to house their ICE detainees. So we know already that the prison system is industry. They get paid off of it. You got private prisons, 100%. So, you know what I mean? Whether in the community or not, you got how certain laws favor motherfuckers to get more time and don't get more time. So basically, this shit is letting you know that the prison system, the detainee system, whether you on whatever side of the fence you on about the immigrants here being here, how they got here, whatever, it just lets you know that humans and being in the prison system or being in jail is it's a business, bro. 100%.
You ain't lying. I mean, it's about what is that thing? They said it was costing that community millions of dollars. So I mean, what is it coming out?
They're making millions of dollars for the community.
They're making millions of dollars.
Yeah, because they're renting the beds out.
He did say the community was with him.
Yeah, they're renting the beds out to the ICE. So ICE is a federal, they federal, right? And this is a county jail. You know what I mean? So the sheriff of that county jail has a deal with the ICE department to rent out their beds to house their detainees. You know what I mean? So not only is they getting money for the motherfuckers that's committing crimes in that county by housing them motherfuckers, they also getting money for the from the federal government to house they, you know what I mean? Because like how you said, it might have been 30,000 deportees since Trump then came into office. So just imagine how many. He's renting out 300 beds at $68 a day, and then $40 for transportation. So he making $100. Well, $68. Yeah, $100 a day. If they got to keep going back and forth, or it's just the 68 from them, you know what I mean? And 300 beds, 365 days a year, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're in there for however long they're in there till they get transported out, right? So then they're just filling them back up. Right, you feel me? Like it's a revolving door right now.
Yeah, Emil said it was 32,000.
Even bro, remember he said going back to.
We'll look at Emil.
What is that?
He said it was 32,000.
Yeah, 32,000. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of motherfuckers, bro. And like think about this, it ain't just. You know what? Like, at first, you know what I mean, with his campaign early on back in 2016, he was talking about like building a wall and doing all this crazy shit, with keep the Mexicans out, whatnot. But it's like, yo. You had Biden come in and he did the sanctuary states type of shit where he let refugees come in, you know what I mean? So
we were one of them.
Right? But it wasn't just Hispanics, it was like Asians too, you know what I mean? Caribbeans, you name it, they was coming in through Mexico, coming in through the border states, you know what I mean? And then finding quote unquote sanctuary in these states. So like shout out to the Bears, Brews, and the Bros. You know what I mean? Smokey over there, he was telling me Chicago got overrun. You know what I mean? Like but see, so now then you get Trump back in there. Now you got ICE. It's almost like one hand washes the other because then it'll let hella fools come in, and now you got this new business, and that's in the business of quickly shipping them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It really is. If they say that the reason why they, sanctuary states and all that is to be able for them blue states to get to help them get votes because they knew that they was finna they didn't have no chance to win the election. You know what I mean? And in some of them states, they said that you didn't have to have an ID to vote. You know what I mean? You didn't have to, be a registered.
They pulled a Republican. They went and did their best Republican impersonation. And like, listen, how we gonna get hella votes? Yeah. I mean, think about this. Look with Obama, that first term, right? It was like you had all the minorities and minority communities that never even voted. They came out like, look, I'm voting for Obama. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like shit. That shit was like a landslide. You know what I mean? Then it was almost like a landslide with Trump the first time. You know what I mean? But what did they do? It was like the mail-in votes. Or also the fucking WikiLeaks right beforehand. They had the drop on Hillary and the whole fucking Clinton administration and everybody she was tied to. So that, you know what I mean? It was just like boom. But then they literally didn't they impeach Trump at the end? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's been great because now he's back. That's just kind of crazy. It's like you can't write this any better. You know what I mean? Like this shit is wild.
Only in America.
Only in America.
100%, bro, on everything. But back to this story though, like after they got to talking about them renting out the beds and shit like that, she goes and talks to a deportee who was a resident of I guess of that county and I guess got caught up in the suite because he wasn't fully legit. I guess he was trying to get legit because they said that the reason why they deported him because he missed the fucking court date. You know what I mean? Now I know shit happens and all that too though, but if Brett was really trying to become a citizen and he missed a court date, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Do better.
Yeah, well.
I mean, and unfortunately they're gonna set a certain parameters and rules and shit. And it's like, hey, shout out to my man Attila. You know what I mean? I knew him for since 2004, and you know what I mean? It took him. I knew him almost 20 years before he. 2020. I think he got a citizenship finally. He's from Hungary. He's from Hungary. You know what I mean?
Oh, everything.
Yeah, he's Hungarian.
Yeah, that shit crazy, bro. 100%. And then bro was saying that He's seen motherfuckers get beat up in that jail. The ICE people, you know, the people that's immigrants, he's seen them getting beat up and shit like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, you had the Guantanamo shit where, you know, they was, even though that them motherfuckers was high level like type shit, but them motherfuckers was beating them motherfuckers too. You know what I mean? And it was Americans were like, come on now, like these is motherfucking humans, my nigga. 100%. Like you can't be doing that shit, man. You know, and now you profiting off these people, you treating them like shit. 100%. Like, come on, man. But you know, like creating criminals for profit. Some prison system is like college. Once you're in the system, you're just a number. 100%, bro. This shit crazy. Damn, why are we even holding these people? Just deport them back to their countries. 100%. You know what I mean? That's because that money is in there to go ahead and funnel that shit out. 100%. You know what I mean? They gonna hold their ass there for 3-4 months, and then, like, you know what I mean? Trump, he threatened to put tariffs on one of them South America countries because they wasn't taking they illegal aliens back. So when bruh said, man, we finna put the tariffs on you, the president of that country or whatever that run that shit, he like, okay, man, we gonna take them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got, is we paying to send them back? Is these countries...
And you know what's unfortunate is like, because you could be like my man, he's Hungarian. He legit looked like Slim Shady, right? He got the blue eyes, though. Like, but anyways, he looked like Slim Shady. So he could be out here in America, and they ain't gonna look his way twice. You feel me? Even though he's a foreigner, because he looks like an American. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you know, even the Canadians that shout out to my cousin Bruce. You know what I mean? He's a Canadian. He came out here as an illegal alien, like back in the 80s. You know what I mean? But he came in through like Detroit, through Michigan. You know what I mean? But, you know, he'd always joke too, like, yeah, I'm an illegal alien. He naturalized, you know what I mean, over time. But see, it probably wasn't as hard for him, though, right? To get, you know, go through that process. You feel me?
Yeah, now Trump, he trying to, so right now you can pay for a green card, right? It's a certain green card where you can pay for it now, right? So this motherfucker wants to have another green card, but it's called a gold card where you got to pay like $5 million to come into this motherfucker. But he says it's going to create opportunities because you're getting the elite of the elite from out, you know, out the world to come in here and start making businesses and shit like that.
All the cartel kids.
All the cartel kids, oh my mama.
They put them in the best schools. They put them in, you know what, we're sending you to America. It only cost me $5 million.
Come on now, only $5 million. A drop in the bag. Oh, everything. Peacock said, yeah, Bogey is correct. They set up the rules and ways for you to gain citizenship in a way that's extremely difficult or it takes a long time. I took a immigration class in college. Everything.
Yeah,
just meant to be
crazy.
100%.
Yeah, and like even like you know, obviously my or maybe not so obvious, but my folks came from the Philippines, and then like bringing over the other rallies, you gotta like sponsor them. That should take a minute. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? You gotta
like, I mean, I don't know what that entails, but like they always say, oh, you have to sponsor them. Like my dad, when he talks about my Uncle Pete, took like 15 years to get him sponsored. Then once you get him sponsored, he can get him over and he gets a visa. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
wow.
Then, like, yeah, my Uncle Pete, he's been here since 2002, maybe. You know what I mean? And he became a citizen maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but you know, it's an entire thing. My pops came here in like 78.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, bruh.
You know what I'm saying? It was like yeah, I didn't meet the rally till I was fucking in high school. You know what I mean? He didn't already had hella kids. And then when he got over, it was like he brought over his oldest daughter. She was probably like 8 at the time. You know what I mean? Then his other kids, he didn't bring them over till they was grown, like high school and shit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, it took him a while to get them over. You know what I mean? He'll go back and visit and shit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's like
he got the whole fam bam out.
So like a couple of my coworkers, they Hispanic, and you know they stay sending shit back to Mexico. You know what I mean? They building houses out there for when they retire. You know what I mean? They still got family out there, stay sending shit back. You know what I mean? Once a year, go back. You know what I mean? Go fuck with they peoples and shit.
Yeah, you know what's hella funny is like, so my pops, you know what I mean? They had like condos and shit down in the PI, like on fucking on some retirement shit. You know what I mean? Like condos, but they're like, beachfront type shit.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like, yeah, but my mom's, she, they've been out here since 78, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So mom's, she's like, I like the PI, but I'm, they're American as fuck now. You know what I mean? Because you go over there, the weather is crazy. You know what I mean? You're living large though. You know what I mean? Like the peso, the dollar to the peso is insane. You know what I mean? So I was like, bro, you go out there and just ball out. You know what I mean?
Oh, everything.
Yeah, same thing down in Mexico. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my Hispanic homies. You know what I mean? The same thing. They go down there. They live large.
Come on now.
But it's down there it's different too. You know what I mean? You got buddy. You got to be careful to kidnap your ass for money and shit. Same thing in the PI. The PI. I ain't never been too, but that was always like the stories they told me. Like, oh, when you go out there with your Jordans and shit, they're gonna be on you.
100%. They know what time it is. Come on now.
They're gonna be on you. It's like all the bitches gonna be on you, but then all the dudes they're gonna hem you up. Like,
right, for sure.
All my older cousins are like, yeah, bro. You know what I mean?
You gotta walk light. You gotta walk light while you out the country.
Yeah, my older cousins and them, right? There was a Bahalana gang, the BNG. And see, this is the thing is like most of them, so their generation, their gang was hella thick because you just get hella fools that weren't from America. You know what I mean? We weren't born here. You know what I mean? I was one of the first generation born. You know what I'm saying? Because most of there's 14 of them on my mom's side, 7 brothers, 7 sisters. So I got hella cousins. You know what I mean? But the whole family was a gang. You know what I mean? And then like, you know what I mean? Because you can't, you out here in this new shit. You feel me? In the 80s. You know what I mean? Like it's going down.
It was really popping. Trust me, I know. Oh, everything. Real talk. And they was in the Bay.
In the Bay. You know what I mean? And you got this big old melting pot. But that's what's dope, growing up in the melting pot.
100%.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? We just
we got
walks of life.
The 100%. We got relics every color, race, whatever. On my mama. 100%.
All kind of half breed.
And so, and that's why a motherfucking, like, you know what I mean? Especially when you come from the community, man, you don't give a fuck about, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
sometimes it do happen, but more than often, you got homies, especially if you done went to school all the way through, man. You got Asian homies, you got SA homies, you got white homies, man. You got everything, right? 100%. So, you know what I mean? It really shouldn't be no fucked up against you. Know what I mean?
That's what is crazy. Like when I used to like go to state, like different places and shit. Like, you go to like I remember when I was in Atlanta, I was like, oh, this is dope. This is like Black Hollywood. You know what I mean? But then like they was tripping off me. They're like, so you Filipino? I'm like, yeah. And then if you're like, so you know karate? Or like even if I'm Filipino, I'll be like Pacquiao. And they'll be like, oh, okay, word. Because like, they ain't never, I'm like, damn, they ain't integrated like that. So it's like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They would think I'm Puerto Rican or something, or some kind of Hispanic or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got the essay. They got the essay rallies out in Atlanta for sure.
Oh, for sure.
My mama.
Yeah, man, cartels everywhere.
100% on my mama.
Yeah, I mean, but
then but see, that's what's, just to come back to the story though, is like, it's the dehumanization of these motherfuckers that's running these jails and shit, bro. If they really in there beating on, if they renting these motherfucking jails out, renting these beds out to the federal government, and the federal government ain't coming in there and seeing that these people is being poorly treated, damn near getting physically harmed and shit like that, and they still getting money off these people, letting these people sit for 3-4 months and then getting deported. Like, man, that shit it's definitely not cool, bro. And then the way that they be hitting these places, like they be raiding them motherfuckers, you know what I mean? They'll get the drop and they'll raid, you know what I mean? Not knowing that they probably know they'll raid the spot, it be kids and shit like that, you know what I mean? And that's another thing, man. What's up with the kids if the mom and dad ain't got the right paperwork to be here? What they do with the kids? Where the kids sit at? You know what I mean? What they got to go through?
If the kids are American born, they can't do nothing. But it's like, but then where do they go? Like, who's taking care of it? If they're young kids, if they're not grown enough to take care of themselves, you know what I mean? Like, You know what's fucked up too is like it's unfortunate too because the mindset for these motherfuckers it becomes sadists. You know what I'm saying? Where people that take advantage of being in a position of authority. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they beating on these motherfuckers because they treating them like they ain't got no rights. Like, oh, you're an immigrant. You know what I mean? They just beat on. Oh, who's gonna? It's just like somebody who will beat on the people in a mental health facility or something, right? Who's gonna believe the people that's out of their mind, or for lack of a better term, right? Like same thing, like, oh, hey, they're gonna beat these fools down, and say, oh, what you gonna do? There ain't nobody, you ain't got no rights here. Who you gonna tell? You know what I mean? Like that's just fucked up.
That's exactly how I feel right there, big bro. 100%. And now it's a mass sweep of everybody. You know what I mean? It's like fucked up, bro. 100%. You know what I mean? On everything. That shit kind of fucked me up by watching that shit.
Yeah, when bro was like, he done beat him up in the cell. They showed that cell. It's just a little tiny little box. Then he said, bro was whooping on him, and then blood was splatting everywhere, type of shit. I'm like, how do you not like? But see, that's the thing too. Is like I said, they treating them like they not, like they're not humans, like they ain't got no rights because they're not, they don't got no paperwork.
Right.
You know what I mean, they basically just house them until they ship them off, and at the same time making the buku off it. You know what I'm saying? With the perfect excuse, right? Like, oh, we're holding them because we're thoroughly checking out the person, the detainee. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? I would imagine there is some fools that slip through the cracks. Like, listen, bro, I renewed my visa. I went to my shit and woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, oh, sure. You know what I mean? And let it show. Don't miss your appointments.
Right, 100%. Please.
Don't do your court dates. Because, man, a lot of that shit gets fall through the woodwork. Like, when they say, oh, they submit the paperwork. Why is this not digital? Right? Like,
right. Even if it's digital, sometimes they
in that cell, they're gonna ship you off to a place that you ain't never even been since you was a baby.
Hey, even if that shit is digital, sometimes it just still sits and they don't happen to see it. I see that all the time, big bro. 100%. You know what I mean? That shit crazy, bro. You know, I hope any motherfucker that's trying to get over here and change their life and better their life, you know what I mean? I'm all for that shit.
Don't do it.
100%. Nah, hey, I'm all for it, man. Just make sure that you just go about the right way and just don't be on no weird shit out here. 100%, man.
No. And what I meant is that, like, you know what I mean? America, it's like, it's kind of crazy. It's like the way I have faith. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Period. You know what I mean? I hope it's, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we're already being looked at in the world. Like, you know what's crazy is my partner's dad is. Shout out to all my white homies, like my homie Nancy. He's like, when I went to Europe and different parts of Europe, like, they be, oh, you're American, they hate. You know what I mean? Like, you know, motherfuckers don't like Americans like that. But see, I bet you if we was walking around there, we would blend right in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's shit crazy.
But when they don't like Americans and shit, we already have that negative connotation.
They hate Americans.
Like, you know what I mean? And Trump is coming in there throwing his dick over his shoulder. You know what I mean? He's getting it done, but whatever it is, just is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the stock market's crashing right now. Buy everything.
100%. Oh my mom.
Time to buy.
It's time to buy. Hey, they don't like Americans, but they love the culture though.
You ain't lying. I mean, see, you know what's crazy? Back in the days, if you were an artist, it was about breaking in America. If you were like 100%. A non-American, that's why, like, you know, because like America's consumers, they'll buy. You know what I mean? They'll make you rich. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers gonna buy. This is when they're still selling actual intangible things. You know, albums, CDs, records, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that's why Drake got so mega big. You know what I mean? He was quote unquote international. He was an international superstar right out the gate.
Yeah, that's like the little bride Talia. You know, she from South Africa or somewhere like that, and she done broke into this motherfucker.
You break into the States, you in there because you toured the States. You know what I mean? Then you got the world. You know that once you get big in America, that sets you up for the world tours too, because like you say, everybody's tapped into Western, quote unquote, Western culture, Western pop culture specifically. You know what I mean?
Come on now. Them is facts. Peacock said it's just meant to deter people from continuing the process and actually gaining citizenship.
Yeah, they just kind of push you back. You know what I mean? Test some motherfucking patience. You know what I mean?
No, them is facts.
And push you back because you're under time parameters too when you're like in like a visa or say you got like a student visa, and then what happens when you graduate? You're like, oh shit, I gotta go back home. You know what I mean? But you know, shit, crazy.
My professor was from Cuba, and she hadn't seen her husband in 10 years because he had trouble gaining citizenship. Whoa. Everything. And I think I don't even think there's flights from America into Cuba. I think you got to go somewhere else and then get into Cuba.
Word. You might got to go like with the Bahamas or something.
Some Mexico, maybe the Bahamas. Yeah.
But we opened up now, though. We're opened
up. It's opened up now? Okay.
Yeah, probably like, because I remember at one point you start seeing everybody got Cuban cigars all of a sudden and shit. You know, and then like they're like, oh yeah, they opened up like little trades or whatever the fuck they opened up with Cuba. But they I think they opened up the visas. There you go. So they allow people to come here too now and go there.
Trump is a salesman. He just says whatever people want to hear so he can get the deal done. Mexico is nice to visit, but that's about it in my opinion. I dated a girl from Sinaloa. Oh,
the one that looked like Kim K. And you remember she had the pink AK or the pink something, but she had the pink drop top Lambo. But she was a hitter. She was a hitter from Sinaloa.
One of my coworkers, this is my dog. He invited me to his wedding, and he from Sinaloa. So when the mariachi out there, you know what I mean, the service and all got going, when it was time to turn up. When the mariachi got to singing and shit, I'm not knowing what they're saying, but the only thing that I know that they're saying, they were saying Sinaloa!
Yeah.
Sinaloa!
I think it's called like corrido.
Like some real mafia type shit in that motherfucker though, bro. Oh, everything.
No, real shit. I think it's called like corrido or something like that. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but because you got like the mariachi shit, then you got the gangster mafia shit, and that's the corrido. You know?
Bro, they had security at the gate, and it's at a fat ass ranch all the way by Matherfield. So if you know the area, the lay of the land, going that way is nothing but like type hella big ass properties. You got acre and a half, 2 acres sitting on type of shit. So you got security when you pull up, you know, letting you know, woo, you know what I mean? You got a park, you had to walk, man. That shit was lit to the motherfucker on my mama. I had a damn good time. I was drunker than a motherfucker that night, though. Oh, my mama.
You ain't lying. They drinking the Bucanas.
Man, they had this